For the first time since the 1970s, Social Security payments are set to stay pretty much right where they are. They are pegged to inflation, and since prices aren't budging, neither will those checks. My next guest wants to change that. Congressman Anthony Weiner joining me right now, Democrat from New York. Good to see you, Congressman.
My pleasure. Nice to be here.
All right, so these cost of living adjustments, Social Security, not expected to change. Inflation's so low. What do you want to do about it?
Well, frankly, inflation is not really that low when you consider the products that senior citizens buy. Healthcare, by and large, food, housing, none of those things are declining. In fact, they're going up. We've had this whole debate about healthcare inflation, for example. You know, the problem that we have here is they arrive at the CPI, which, by the way, isn't zero either. It's a little bit south of 3%.
You're talking about consumer price index,
right, the
retail measure of inflation.
Correct. But the problem is that basket takes into account things like the cell phones we have and things like computers, which there really are downward pressures by competition on price. It's not really happening in the things that seniors have. And to even show it even more pointedly, their Medicare premiums are going up by more now than they're going to be getting additionally, which is nothing in Social Security. So this is
because
not...
the prescription drug benefit that rolls into that. I see all your points, Congressman. They're all well taken. But these are the rules that we've lived by for years of Social Security. And now you want to change the rules.
Something's different here. Here we are, we're being told that for the next 2 years, somehow somebody knows exactly what the inflation rate is going to be that's going to determine this. Look, this number
It's always been this way.
No.
No.
Every year it's on a year at a time, and it's not even being announced today. So it's going to come out in October.
But you see, Congress, people looking at this saying what you want to do with this, and it's all well-intended, I understand that, but what if they change the rules midstream on health care?
No, they're changing the rules this year, Neil.
My point is that all of a sudden people are going to look at this. These are the costs or the factors we had going into this government program. Now we're going to potentially look at changing them going into health care.
No. What's happening this year is different than it's ever been. We've never had the announcement 2 years hence that we know what the inflation rate's going to be. Anyone who made that prediction should come get a job on your show. That's unprecedented.
But this was well telegraphed, I'm saying. And Democrats hold the majority.
Yeah, but hold on a second.
You guys knew this was... I knew this was coming down the pipe.
No, here's why we knew.
You guys know a lot more than me.
Yeah, here's why we knew, or we thought we knew. The president included in his budget a very suspicious line that said an assumption that there would be no inflation adjustments for 2 years. Well, they're allowed to try to predict as best they can, but the actuaries get to decide in October of each year what they're going to get in January the following year, 1 year at a time. That hasn't even happened yet. What's going on here is I think that someone is pre-massaging this to try to say, you know, not have COLAs because the Social Security Trust Fund makes the rest of the deficit seem smaller. That Social Security...
Well, that would be the White House then.
100%.
So you're saying that the White House ahead of time massaged these numbers?
I'm saying that something is not on the level here. You should not
you're saying that the president's not being...
Well, I don't know. Either that or the actuaries are tipping their hand and saying, you know what, we're going to say zero regardless of what the stats are in October. We don't know. This doesn't happen by law until October, and then it's for January, and it's 1 year at a time.
I know what you're trying to do on Social Security.
No, what I'm saying, the point I'm making is that there's something suspicious here.
Understood, and you're raising suspicions of the White House. But now people are going to look at this and say, you know, this happened with Social Security. They might have pulled a fast one, whether you're right or wrong on this, that someone pulled a fast one. What are they going to do on health care if they take it over? They're going to pull a fast one on that. They're going to redo the math on this. They're going to redo adjustments on this. They're going to redo doctors, you know, allowances and paybacks on, differently. You know what people are going to say, listening to you? The very health care you want is the very health care maybe we can't afford.
Well, here's what I would say. If an insurance company does that, who's then going to call them on it? And they're doing it today. At least this is the case. Look, this is exactly my point. If you have a federal bureaucracy, if you want to call Medicare that, although it's much lower overhead than anything the private sector has been able to do, at least they're accountable to the people. They're accountable to their congressmen. They're accountable to hearings in Congress. What if Aetna or Oxford decided to cook the books, decided to not accept... Are
you saying this is cooked?
I am saying that something is very wrong and suspicious about this numbers. We had a 5.9% COLA this year and a 0 the next year when we don't even know what the CPI is going to be. Or whoever's leaking this out...
You know, in general, the CPI and all the ways we measure inflation is very, very low. That notwithstanding, you're saying look into it. Now, it's your party, Congressman, who not only controls the White House, controls the House, controls the Senate.
Neil, I call it like I see him.
I know you do, and I give my hats off to you. What I'm saying, though, Congressman, when just dorky financial anchors like me knew that this adjustment was coming and it was going to be a 2-year deal and it was coming down the pike, and it was your party and its members who told me it was coming down the pike, Where's this shock?
First, let's make it very clear. There's no 2-year deal because the law only allows for the announcement 1 year at a time.
I knew that this was going to be the proposal. This is not a shock.
This appeared in the president's budget, and the president theoretically doesn't have control over this. Now the actuaries are saying, you know what, it's actually going to be zero for the next 2 years.
So Democrats are lying to Democrats.
No, here's what I'm saying. I don't know who these actuaries are. If I ever met one of them, I'd like to know how they do their job. But I don't know who they are, but I'm raising alarm bells now to say that something doesn't seem to be on the level, and we're going to find out in October if that actually turns out to be the case.
When are you getting married? Soon, right?
The time. I gotta be going.
We're watching that. We're watching. Seriously, Congressman, very good to have you. He's engaged. That's a big event. We're watching.